Anime is full of villains who end up having a change of heart. Welcome to WatchZilla. Today we are going to give you our top 12 best anime villains turned heroes. These villain to hero stories stood out above the rest. A villain turning into a hero is a classic storyline that most fans love to see unfold. To see one who was utterly sadistic and heartless turn into a person that cares for others adds a little sweetness that was otherwise missing. They might lose their evil ways, but they still retain some of their characteristics. If anything, the heroes of these series gain a powerful ally to fight by their side. Some of them still have their rivalries with the protagonists, but overall have switched to the good side. Number 12. Teruki Hanazawa. Teruki Hanazawa starts off as an arrogant preteen who uses his psychic powers to gain popularity and power in middle school. Said power involves control over multiple gangs. When the protagonist of Mob Psycho 100, the titular mob, is tasked with taking him down, the two of them have a battle so dramatic that viewers are shocked that Teruki leaves the fight with only damage to his hair. Through their fight, Teruki realizes that he isn't the only person out there with psychic powers, and in fact, he isn't even the strongest person with psychic powers. His battle with Mob humbles him and makes him want to be Mob's friend. When Mob has to go save his brother from kidnappers, Teruki is right there to help him out. Number 11. Takasugi Shinsuke. In contrast to Gintama's comedy world, Takasugi Shinsuke was the lone edgy character who countered Sakata Gintoki as the series' main villain. Takasugi wasn't always the ruthless, destructive villain that we knew him to be. In fact, he was best friends with Gintoki and Katsura, as well as a loyal disciple of Yoshida Shuyu. After Shuyu's tragic death, Takasugi becomes bitter and resentful. His only desire was to enact revenge upon the Bakufu and destroy this world. Though he was used sparingly, Takasugi's every appearance appeared impactful and threatening, as he teased and weaved threads for a greater anarchic uprising against those in power. But when Itsuro appears as a new threat to Earth, Takasugi sides with Gintoki and his friends once again. His eventual turn to the good side was a great one for a character who had been seething in his own misery for so long. Although he was led astray on a dark path, Takasugi eventually finds his way again. Number 10. Crona. Based on pure aesthetics, it's hard for many on a first watch to even see Crona as a villain. Crona is a character who had no evil intention to begin with. The kid is always visibly shaken and is always reluctant to fight. However, their mother was the one who asked them to commit crimes. Said abuse made it just about impossible for Crona to go against their mother in any way, so for a long time, they simply obeyed while becoming increasingly mentally unstable. That tragic background and Crona's own natural cinnamon bun energy made his turn to good all the more cathartic and necessary. After they met Maka, Crona began to change their perspective and even fought their heartless mother. This eventually leads to recognizing their mother as abusive, realizing that they don't need her approval, and deciding to try to help thwart their evil plans. Crona not only found friends that he could rely on, but also started fighting for himself. With the added benefit of turning Ragnarok into a cute cartoony mascot, Crona's character arc was fun. Number 9. Nico Robin. When Nico Robin first debuted, she was the vice president of a conspiratorial, bounty-hunting agency that tried to assassinate the Straw Hats and Princess Vivi. And although she's always had good in her, her violent past made her into a cold and cynical person. It's only when she meets Luffy and the Straw Hats that she begins to change for the better. She even betrays Crocodile in order to save Luffy's life. She quickly abandons Crocodile for Luffy's crew after the Sandman tries to kill her. While it was easy for many, especially Rorano Azoro, to think that she was just using the Straw Hats, her time with them eventually developed something new and special. Her loyalty and the Straw Hats' feelings towards her were tested in grand fashion during the Enies Lobby arc, where Nico Robin officially and unambiguously changes for the good in easily her most iconic scene. Now a member of the Straw Hats, Nico Robin has come a long way and learned to heal from her traumatic past. Number 8. Sesshomaru. Sesshomaru is another villain with inspiring character development. The older brother of InuYasha, Sesshomaru started off the InuYasha series wanting to kill him and has fought against him multiple times. The only thing that two brothers have in common besides their father is wanting to put an end to Naraku. Sesshomaru disliked humans and preferred to stay away from them, but after meeting Rin, he decided they weren't all bad. He transformed from a ruthless demon who despises humans into a kind-hearted individual who takes care of a little girl, Rin. Thanks to Rin, Sesshomaru changed his perspective toward humans as she brings out his good side. Although Sesshomaru initially rejects Rin's help and kindness, he realizes how much he's grown to care for her after she is killed by wolves. He brings her back to life, and Rin becomes his travel companion for the rest of the series. He ultimately helped InuYasha and his friends in defeating Naraku. Overall, Sesshomaru isn't a bad person, but is still cold and stoic to almost everyone he talks to. Number 7. Ken Ichijouji. Ken was the main villain for the first part of Digimon Adventure 02 and served as the heartless Digimon Emperor. As the Emperor, Ken was sadistic and cruel, enslaving and causing the suffering of many Digimon. It wasn't until his Digimon partner Wormmon sacrificed himself to give Magnamon more power to defeat Chimeramon, Ken's uncontrollable Digimon creation, that he realizes what he's done. After being reunited with Wormmon, Ken sets out to right his wrongs. For a while he and Wormmon are on their own, knowing that the other Digidestine don't trust him. Ken is eventually accepted by them as they see that he is genuine in his efforts. He and Digidestine Yale marry when they grow up and have a family. Number 6. Viral. A prideful beastman that was all about human subjugation during the earlier parts of the series, it was clear that for the sake of honor, he would happily butcher the likes of Team Daiguren. As a member of the Human Execution Squad, his goal is pretty self-explanatory. He despises humans, calling them naked apes, and is more than happy to help get rid of him. Funny how prison can change a man. Eventually, a combination of actually interacting with humans on a personal level, being treated disrespectfully by his own comrades, and realizing that attacking humans is not, in his view, honorable, he does an about-face and ends up joining Kamino and company. After joining forces with an adult Simon to stage a breakout, Viral ended up becoming a valued member of the crew. Don't let his sharky nature throw you off, you'd be happy to have him around too, if you were going up against something as crazy as the anti-spiral. Number 5. Scar. Scar is probably one of the most well-developed characters in Fullmetal Alchemist. Brotherhood. Scar is a shonen villain who, in the messy politics of Fullmetal Alchemist's world, could be seen as more of an anti-hero if he didn't murder a lot of arguably innocent people. He starts off as a villain who targets state alchemists. Without context, this makes him seem like a monster. With context, it gets more complicated. State alchemists nearly wiped out his people, the Ishvalans, and destroyed their homeland. The byproduct of a bloody, ideological war and the victim of a grander conspiracy started by Father, Scar's entire character centered around hate and violence. Despite belonging to a religion that preaches peace, Scar considers genocide to be a worthy reason for revenge. His rage leads him to destroy people who were trying to help him, including the Rockbells, who were Amestrian doctors attempting to treat his wounds. When he's confronted with Rockbell's daughter Winry, who hates him for murdering her parents but is still willing to help him because that's what her parents would have wanted, he must take stock of the impact of his revenge. As the series progresses, he puts his justified feelings aside to ally with Al, Ed, and others who are working toward the same thing he is, peace. Even when he sided with Ed and Alphonse, his decision was more pragmatic in an effort to change his world's overlying corruption, though it would inevitably lead to redemption and peace in one of Fullmetal Alchemist's best character arcs. Number 4. Hiei. Hiei is another character who's introduced as a terrifying demon. The short-statured owner of the Dragon of the Darkness Flame may be mostly associated with Yusuke's ass-kicking posse, but lest we forget the two didn't start off on the best of terms. In fact, he straight up wanted to slice apart the spirit detective. Given how Yusuke wasn't exactly the uber-powerful shounen star back then, the three-eyed demon might have actually succeeded if not for the timely intervention of Kurama. However, after several conflicts, Hiei gradually turned into a kind-hearted character and even saved Yusuke from certain death. From that point on, the quartet would get embroiled in all manner of crazy adventures together, which would over time soften Hiei's fiery demeanor. He's no ray of sunshine, but at least he now tolerates humanity as opposed to wanting to reduce them to ashes. Number 3. Gajeel Redfox. Gajeel Redfox could have easily been just another villain of the week for Fairy Tail. The series and battle shonen as a whole are never in short supply of buff angry guys just trying to wreak a lot of havoc. He spent most of Fairy Tail as a good guy, but Gajeel first appeared as a villain. Part of the Phantom Lord Guild, Gajeel attacked the Fairy Tail Guild Hall in their small group, Team Shadow Gear. After Phantom Lord disbanded, Gajeel was brought into the Fairy Tail Guild since Makarov believed there was good in him. Even when he eventually did join the team, a lot of people were skeptical of his true intentions, given how reluctant and gruff he still appeared. However, those perceptions quickly changed when Gajeel showed how willing he was to fight for good, and after the series excitingly revealed that he was Fairy Tail's own secret agent against Ivan Dreyer. Slowly but surely, Gajeel proved his worth to the guild and became one of its strongest mages. All of the Fairy Tail mages now trust Gajeel and don't question his loyalty. He and Levi, who is part of Team Shadow Gear, became a couple and are expecting a child. Number 2. Vegeta. Vegeta is one of the most popular villain-turned-hero. Initially, Vegeta was the antagonist, the main threat to Goku, including Namek. Goku and Vegeta have been involved in numerous great battles, to the point that they became friends and focus on saving the world. To go from wanting to blow up the Earth to starting a family with one of its occupants is a pretty big leap, one that could only the Saiyan Prince could complete with such grandeur. While his rivalry with Goku remains eternal, Vegeta's slow exposure to the wonders of the world eventually led him to abandon his destructive ways and pursue the life of a family man. Of course, the woman he chose to marry was none other than Bulma freakin' Briefs, so it's not like he had to be blackmailed into the hero lifestyle. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Number 1. Gaara. Gaara's life mirrored Naruto's at the beginning of the Naruto series. Both were feared and shunned by the villagers because of the tailed beasts they had inside their bodies. Rasa, Gaara's father, tested Gaara's control of his tailed beast and ordered Yashimaru, Gaara's uncle, to attack him. Under Rasa's orders, Yashimaru broke Gaara's spirit by telling him he was never loved by him or his sister, Gaara's mother. This event changed Gaara, and he became hateful toward people and mentally unbalanced. It wasn't until his defeat by Naruto that he changed for the better. He started by improving his relationships with his siblings and villagers in Suna. Gaara eventually became the next Kazekage and one of Naruto's most trusted allies. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchZilla and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.